Warning: the following content contains a lot of spoilers. If you don't want to get spoiled, feel free to click off this video and watch a different video of mine. You're free to come back here after you completed the anime. Viewers' discretion is advised. This has to be one of the strangest animes I have ever come across. I thought this would be a normal romance anime taking place in Kowloon City in Hong Kong. But no, it has more than that. Before I explain, let's get right to the introduction. Kowloon Generic Romance is based on a manga series written by Jun Mayusuke. It lasted over 12 volumes and 108 chapters from 2019 to 2026, while the anime series was released in 2025, lasting only 13 episodes. It was animated by Arvo Animation, another animation studio I have zero clue about. Alright, let's get right to the plot. I will try my best to explain this anime's plot since it's kinda complicated and a bit all over the place, so here is my best shot. We start the anime with a 32-year-old office worker named Kujidai, and we have one of her co-workers named Kudo. Both Kujidai and Kudo work together and they go out to dinner as well. However, that's not something I want to discuss. I will be discussing something else. One day, when Kujidai tries to wake Kudo up, Kudo kisses Kujidai, but he quickly mistakes her for someone else, not even having any emotions about what he has done. So after Kudo left work, Kujidai found an image of herself with Kudo. However, she doesn't remember taking this image with him, so when she goes to the tea house to talk to the waiter named Gwen, he tells her that he took the picture. This makes Kujidai realize her memories are missing, so she starts investigating. Later on, Kujidai's friend named Xiaohei calls her to say that her neighbor Yaomei is being loud, so Kujidai goes to Yaomei's place to talk to her. Kujidai talks to Yaomei about the picture she has, and Yaomei says that the woman in the picture is not Kujidai, so they decide to go to the tea house Gwen works at to talk to him. But unfortunately, he recently quit his job, so that leads nowhere. Another lead is that when they go talk to the president of a company named Miyuki about Kujidai's memories, he weirdly tells her that her memories never existed, so Kujidai leaves being grossed out. Oh yeah, since I mentioned Gwen the waitress, he currently lives with Miyuki in his mansion since they are both lovers. However, this Gwen is completely different than the one we saw. When he arrives at Kowloon, he has to wear a mask as a disguise, but when he takes off his mask in front of Kujidai to reveal himself, he tells her that the Kujidai in the photo is dead, and she is living a different life. This was later proven when she was trying to tell Kudo about this, which made her faint. Kujidai later wakes up in Kudo's apartment, where she will leave right after. Some time passes, and we see Kudo and Kujidai alone together. Kudo asks Kujidai how much she knows about the main Kujidai. She tells him that she's dead, to which Kudo tells Kujidai that he killed the main Kujidai. However, this was just a what if instead of a real confession, so what he said wasn't true. Later on, when Gwen is driven to Kowloon, in his illusion, he can see Kowloon, but to others' illusions, Kowloon is destroyed, meaning that selected people can see and go to Kowloon. Oh yeah, before Gwen arrived in Kowloon, he was kicked out of Miyuki's mansion after Miyuki's adopted dad found out about the relationship. So while Gwen is in Kowloon, Kujidai hears about this and decides to meet up with him and brings Yaomei with her to learn about the main Kujidai. All we know is that Kudo didn't kill the main Kujidai, but Gwen doesn't say the reason she died. After that, Kujidai goes with Kudo to shop for some ramen, but suddenly an explosion happens, and Kudo goes to check it out. Turns out a building exploded and collapsed. While Kudo was checking it out, he found the real Gwen in the same area. Once Gwen sees Kudo, he tells him to leave Kowloon, but Kudo doesn't listen to him, so he doesn't leave. Meanwhile, a man named Yulong goes through medical records and finds out how the main Kujirai died. She apparently took her own life. It's also revealed that the Kujirai we currently see is a genetic, so she's not a real person. This is revealed when Kujirai and Yaomei prepare to leave Kowloon, and that is when Gwen stops them from leaving. After Gwen stops them, a delivery man shows up and doesn't see the city or Kujirai at all, which Gwen explains the Kowloon she's in was demolished 3 years ago, and that she doesn't exist outside the Kowloon she sees, so Kujirai has no choice but to stay in Kowloon. Meanwhile, Yulong, the guy who confirmed the main Kujirai's death, also confirms the cause of death of how the main Kujirai died. She apparently died of an overdose. But we're moving on to a different topic. Remember Xiaohei, the same friend of Kujirai who called her about the noise Yaomei made? Turns out the real Xiaohei is a guy, not a female. So when Kujirai takes Xiaohei to the female Xiaohei's apartment to fix her fire alarm, the female Xiaohei disappears. Right after that, both Xiaohei and Yaomei leave Kowloon, and to their surprise, they can see Kowloon is now destroyed, which means Kowloon was indeed destroyed 3 years ago. Now, this is where the ending is near. When Kujirai goes and talks to Kudo, the Kowloon world she's in starts disappearing. After Kowloon disappears, Kujirai goes into a secret movie theater where it recaps the memories the main Kujirai had. In those memories, it shows Kudo discovering the main Kujirai's deceased body inside her apartment, which would be around the time Kowloon starts demolishing. A year later, Kudo goes back to the now demolished Kowloon where he picks up Kujirai's glasses. From here, the Kowloon we would be in starts activating, and it would trap Kudo inside a 2-month loop for over 2 years, meaning that Kowloon was indeed demolished 3 years ago. After Kujirai saw those memories, she decided to leave Kowloon, and to her surprise, she did not disappear, meaning that she's now a normal human being despite being a genetic. Plus, just like everyone else, she can also see that Kowloon is now a destroyed place. In the end, 2 years later, Kujirai now works as a travel agent in mainland Hong Kong, which means the anime ends with Kujirai reuniting with Kudo for the first time outside of Kowloon. I hope this wasn't too confusing for you to understand, since once again, the anime is complicated to explain, so I did my best. Let's move on to the animation. The animation is one of the best animations I have seen in anime so far. The character designs reminds me of 90s anime like Sailor Moon for an example. The background is also beautiful and perfectly designed right, like the way I like it. Let's move on to the opening and ending themes. The opening is really good. I love the transition to how the beat changes. Since this anime was released last year in 2025, it fits the 2020's anime vibe. This opening is performed by Wednesday Campanella. The ending is not my type of vibe. I don't like how the music sounds since it gives me an awkward feeling inside, so I am not a fan of it. This ending is performed by Mecha Kushi. Let's move on to the voice acting. The voice acting is good. There isn't anything for me to say other than how the voices fits every character that was shown in the anime alone. Let's move on to the pacing. The pacing can be fast or slow depending on how you watch it. Fast if you are focusing on how the plot is showing you everything that is happening, and slow due to how long each episode can be. In my case, it's in between. Time for my final review. Time for my final review on Kowloon Generic Romance. I'm placing Kowloon Generic Romance on Good Show That's Nice, above Serial Experiments Lane. The anime is good, but I don't think it's good enough for me to place it on Feel Free to Watch It. so I'm placing it here instead. Time for my next anime. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Parasite. Parasite is my next anime. Okay, this is actually an anime I've been wanting to watch, but I recently put it on my wheel, but I can't change it either way, since this is gonna be my next anime. So yeah, time for my outro. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please leave a like and subscribe. And please follow my socials in the description down below. And since you know what my next anime is going to be, stay tuned for that. Until then, this is Enjeru, signing off.